Welcome back. I bet Mike Eppel is happy that he does not have to drive anywhere this morning. Coming downtown Toronto. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I was just thinking, this is one of those days where I'd be just saying to myself, oh, I can work from home.
Right? You can still keep your PJs on the bottom if you'd like. I don't know if you do, but you can.
No, I'm actually wearing fashionable jeans.
Are you?
Not my. Really? Do you want me to
stand up? Just stand up.
That's fine.
Show us. Prove it. I
don't know if you can get the shot.
Okay,
There you
jeans.
go. Never mind.
Okay.
There you go. See, just a
There's
glimpse,
your show
right?
for this morning.
Weird. Just got awkward.
Oh, Mike Eppel. All right.
You asked for it.
We did. We asked for it. So good morning to you.
Listen, a year ago, we never would have said any about this, right? We'd still be driving through this mess.
I know.
It's not that horrible, but still, yeah.
I know, but if you're not used to driving in this, if you weren't ready for it, if a lot of people didn't have their winter tires on still, so there was a shortage, right? Like everything was backed up. So anyway, I digress. Let's talk about interest rates.
Yes. Bank of Canada sets policy today, Melanie, and no change will be in the cards, and we're expecting interest rates to hold steady probably for the next 2 years, actually, dependent on, of course, the rollout of vaccines. And that's what the Bank of Canada is likely going to talk a lot about today. The variables for 2021, the timing of vaccines, how fast people can be inoculated, how well it works, all of these things are just wild cards right now. For the central bank, and it's going to be a year in review as well. How much the economy collapsed, reopened, is still struggling in certain pockets, and the fact that the Bank of Canada this year has done things it's never done before, and that is buy bonds and all these other things. And we're looking at a mortgage market where interest rates are at record lows. So, and that's fueled the housing market. So you've got that again disconnect between certain segments of the economy doing very well and others not so much.
Let's talk about who's not doing so much, if I can get that sentence out properly. Air travel. Air Canada obviously adjusting their services. Following suit, was it WestJet that did something similar before? Yeah.
WestJet cut a bunch of destinations in Eastern Canada that just don't see the demand, right? The Eastern Canada bubble, so to speak. The traveling in and out of the four provinces. So Air Canada, as of July 11th, I believe it is, they're not flying to Charlottetown, St. John's, other destinations. And, you look at the fact you can almost fly easier across border, strangely enough, than across the country, just because of various travel restrictions. Can't drive across the border, but you can fly there. So, it's just this mess that the airlines have had to deal with this year, and the whole tourism industry, let's face it. And the fact that Air Canada also said they're not really talking to the feds about any type of a bailout, and there was some discussion about that not that long ago, but it doesn't look like that's happening either. And people are still waiting for refunds.
Yes.
That's the big thing, right? The people are just kind of saying, hello, can I get my money back?
In that voice, exactly. That's exactly what they're saying. Let's talk about the Boeing 737 MAX, and we know one carrier starting to use them.
Yeah, GOL out of Brazil, first today to be using the 737 MAX in passenger service. American Airlines is going to start their U.S. domestic flights, I think, December 29th, if memory serves. So they're getting it back into service. The head of Boeing says they're not changing the name of it or anything of that nature. They're just going to rebuild confidence. This is, probably the most scrutinized plane in history, considering that, what it went through and all of the changes to the onboard control system.
Finally, a lot of people are looking ahead, right, to travel and what they can do for adventure vacations. So what are we looking at here? I
thought this was an interesting article in Maclean's magazine about people planning trips of a lifetime. Because this year you haven't gone anyplace, so you haven't spent much money on travel. So maybe you've saved up for a previous destination. Now you've got more money to spend. Some people do, certainly. And so there's planning 8, 10, 12 months, 2 years in the future, which I don't think is something that people typically do for travel. It's, you go online, you see where you can fly in about 3 months, for example, March break or what have you. But no, people are looking at these big worldwide adventures, so to speak. And that does take more planning than usual, but got to make sure the cancellation policy is in effect just to be sure. I just want to go to Buffalo, for goodness sakes. It's those things. It's those things you couldn't, that you took for granted, so to speak, right? It's like, where do I want to go? Can I just go across the border or whatever? I don't know. Just throwing that out there. No, we want to do a big road trip before the kids get too old.
That's it. Well, start planning Start planning now, Mike.
That's right.
All right, talk to you soon.
Okay, I'm going to the computer.